Did you know that some people can make a room spotless in just 10 minutes, while others spend hours cleaning and never get satisfactory results? Well, today you're going to discover exactly how to do it. I'm going to show you 7 simple tricks that will transform your living room into a magazine-worthy space. One of those well-organized and fragrant ones, without you having to spend the whole afternoon scrubbing furniture. If you're tired of looking at a messy living room and not knowing where to start, or if you feel like you clean but never achieve that organized and pleasing look, this video is for you. The difference between an ordinary living room and a spotless one isn't the time you spend cleaning, but knowing exactly where to focus your energy. And look how interesting. Most people waste time on things that don't make that much difference to the final result. Meanwhile, the details that really matter are forgotten. I'm going to teach you how to do the opposite, focusing on what truly transforms the space. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly the right order to do things, which points you should prioritize, and how to keep everything organized effortlessly. But listen up. There's a specific trick I'll tell you in the 5th tip that completely changes the game. And if you skip this part, you'll continue wasting time unnecessarily. Tip 1. Start by picking up everything that's out of place. The first thing you need to understand is that a room will never look clean if it has objects scattered everywhere. It doesn't matter if the floor is swept or the furniture is dust-free. If there are things left on the sofa, remote controls thrown on the coffee table, magazines piled in the corner, and shoes forgotten near the door, the room will still look cluttered. Therefore, the first step is to collect absolutely everything that doesn't belong in that space. Take a box or a large bag and go around the room throwing in everything that needs to go to another room. Children's toys, clothes left hanging on the sofa, forgotten cups and plates, papers, pens, anything that's out of place. Don't worry about putting each item back in its proper place now. You can do that later. The important thing at this moment is to free up visual space in the room. Do you know why? Because when you remove these objects, your mind can truly see the environment and perceive what really needs attention. In addition, you gain efficiency. Instead of constantly going back and forth to put everything in its place, you gather everything at once and then distribute it throughout the rooms. This saves time and energy. And there's more. When the room is free of scattered objects, any cleaning you do afterward will have a much greater visual impact. It's like preparing a blank canvas before painting. If the canvas is full of scribbles and dirt, your painting won't shine. But if you clean the canvas first, each brush stroke will make a difference. The same applies to the living room. After collecting everything, take a general look around the space. You'll notice that it has already improved considerably, even without having cleaned anything yet. This feeling of rapid progress is important because it motivates you to continue. And look, this trick works not only for the living room, but for any room in the house. Whenever you enter a room and think it's a mess, start by picking up what's out of place. In a few minutes, you'll already notice a big difference. And best of all, it's not tiring, doesn't require cleaning products, and doesn't need any technique. It's just a matter of taking a few minutes to reorganize the space before moving on to the actual cleaning. Tip 2. Arrange the cushions and throws on the sofa. Now let's talk about something many people underestimate, but which makes a huge difference in the look of the room: the sofa cushions and throws. You can have a super clean room with the floor shining and the furniture without a speck of dust. But if the sofa cushions are all crooked and crumpled, the room will look sloppy. It's amazing how this detail goes unnoticed in everyday life, but when you tidy it up properly, the transformation is immediate. So, after picking up scattered items, go straight to the sofa. Remove all the cushions and give them a shake. Tap them lightly to remove any dirt or pet hair that may be stuck. Then, arrange each cushion strategically. If you have cushions of different sizes, place the larger ones at the back against the back of the sofa and the smaller ones in front. This creates a beautiful and organized composition. If all the cushions are the same size, simply position them symmetrically. The secret here is not to leave any cushion crooked or drooping to the side. They need to be well positioned, with a neat and harmonious look. And if you have throws on the sofa, fold them nicely and place them in a corner of the sofa or on the backrest. Don't leave the throws thrown haphazardly, because that breaks the entire harmony of the room. A well-folded and positioned throw gives a cozy and sophisticated touch at the same time. It seems silly, but it's not. When someone enters your living room and sees the sofa neatly arranged, with the cushions aligned and the throw folded, the impression is one of care and organization. And you know what's best? It literally takes 2 minutes to do. You don't need any special products. You don't need to wash anything, just arrange it. And the visual impact is huge. In fact, this is one of the tricks that professional organizers always use when photographing a house to sell or rent. They know that a well-arranged sofa conveys the feeling of a well-cared-for home. So, don't underestimate the power of this simple detail. The next time you're finished using the sofa, get into the habit of quickly tidying up the cushions before leaving the room. This way, you'll keep the space looking spotless without having to do a complete cleaning every time. Tip 3. Clean visible surfaces with a damp cloth. Now that you've picked up the scattered items and tidied the sofa, it's time to move on to cleaning the surfaces. And here's an important secret. You don't need to scrub everything with expensive and complicated products. A simple damp cloth solves most problems. Wipe down the coffee table, the TV stand, the shelves, and any other surface within sight. The goal here isn't to do a deep clean, but rather to remove dust and leave everything looking clean. You know that thin layer of dust that accumulates and that we don't always notice in our daily lives? Well, it makes all the difference in the overall look of the room. When you wipe and remove this dust, the furniture shines and the room looks brand new, and it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Wet a clean cloth with water, wring it out well so it's not dripping, and wipe all surfaces. If you want, you can add a few drops of neutral detergent to the water for a slightly deeper clean, but it's not mandatory. The important thing is that you do it quickly and efficiently. Don't stand still scrubbing the same spot for several minutes. Wipe once or twice, and you're done. Remember, the goal here is speed and visual results. You're doing a quick 10-minute clean, not a complete deep clean, so get straight to the point. Wipe the surfaces that are most visible and make the biggest difference to the overall look. The coffee table, for example, is usually the focal point of the room. If it's clean and shiny, it completely changes the perception of the space. The same goes for the TV stand. Since it's a piece of furniture at eye level, any dirt there draws attention, so pay attention to this part. And there's another important detail. While you're cleaning the surfaces, take the opportunity to organize the objects on them. If you have a vase, a picture frame, or an ornament, position everything well and align it. Sometimes just tidying up these small details can give the room a whole new feel. And this trick also works for maintaining cleanliness on a daily basis. If you quickly wipe surfaces down every day, dust won't accumulate, and you won't need to do that deep cleaning on the weekend. Hey, before we continue, if you're enjoying these practical tips, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new tricks I post here. And feel free to comment on where you're watching from. I love knowing who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue with more tricks to make your living room spotless. Tip 4. Organize the remote controls and cables. Here's a tip that few people pay attention to, but it makes all the difference. Organize the remote controls and cables scattered around the room. You know those charger cords hanging from the sofa, the TV cables sticking out behind the TV stand, and the remote controls thrown everywhere? Well, they mess up the look of the room without you even realizing it. So let's fix that now. First, gather all the remote controls and put them in a fixed place. It could be a pretty basket on the coffee table, a drawer in the TV stand, or even a specific remote control holder. The important thing is that they are not scattered. When you enter the room and see everything organized with the remotes in the right place, the feeling is one of order and cleanliness. Now, about the cables. If you have wires sticking out behind furniture or hanging from outlets, tidy them up. Use clothespins, Velcro, or those cable organizers sold in hardware stores. Gather the wires together, securing them so that they are hidden or at least aligned. Messy cables give off a sloppy vibe you wouldn't imagine. When everything is organized and hidden, the environment looks much cleaner. And look, this isn't just being fussy. Studies show that organized environments help reduce stress and increase feelings of well-being. When you look at the room and see everything in its place, with no dangling wires or scattered remotes, your mind relaxes. You feel like you're in a controlled and pleasant space. So it's well worth dedicating a few minutes to organizing these details. And once you do it once and get everything in order, it's much easier to maintain. Just always put the remotes back in their proper place and check from time to time if the cables are still organized. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be tidy. And there's more. When you have visitors, these details make all the difference. People may not comment directly, but they notice. They enter your room and feel that it's a well-cared-for environment where everything has its place. This conveys a very positive image of you and your home. So don't neglect this organization. It's quick, it's simple, and the result is surprising. Tip 5. Quickly vacuum or sweep the floor. Now it's time to take care of the floor, but don't worry, you won't need to scrub or mop. Right now, the goal is simply to quickly remove visible dirt. Grab a vacuum cleaner or a broom and quickly sweep the entire room. Focus on the busiest areas, such as around the sofa, under the coffee table, and near the doors. These are the places that accumulate the most dirt daily. Hair, crumbs, dust, and small debris tend to concentrate in these areas. So cleaning there will make a huge difference to the overall look. And look, you don't need to move furniture to clean underneath at this point. That's for heavy cleaning. The idea here is to do a quick, superficial cleaning that will leave the room looking clean. Vacuum or sweep quickly, without spending too much time in each corner. If you take too long, you'll end up spending more than 10 minutes, and the goal here is precisely to save time. And there's an important detail. If you have rugs in the living room, give them special attention. Carpets accumulate a lot of dirt, and when they're dirty, they make the whole room look neglected. Vacuum or shake the carpet outside to remove the accumulated dust. If the carpet is very dirty and needs washing, leave that for another day. Now the focus is just on removing excess dirt to improve the look. After cleaning the floor, take a general look. You'll notice that the room is already completely different. With objects in their place, the sofa tidied, surfaces clean, and the floor free of visible dirt, the room already has that organized and welcoming look. And all this in just a few minutes. Amazing, right? And the secret is precisely in focusing on the right areas. You don't need to deep clean the entire room every day. Just keep these main areas always tidy and clean, and the overall look will always be impeccable. This is the trick I told you about at the beginning, which completely changes the game. When you understand where to focus your energy, you can achieve incredible results in a short time. Tip 6. Leave a pleasant aroma in the environment. Now let's talk about something many people forget, but that makes all the difference in the perception of cleanliness. The smell. It's no use having a visually spotless room if it doesn't smell pleasant. Our sense of smell is one of our most powerful senses, and it directly influences our perception of our surroundings. So, after doing all the visual cleaning, dedicate a minute to making the room smell nice. You can use several strategies here. The simplest is to open the windows and let the air circulate for a few minutes. Fresh air already makes a huge difference. If the day is pleasant and you don't have much noise or pollution coming from the street, leave the windows open while you clean. This renews the air and eliminates that stuffy smell. Another option is to use air fresheners. It can be a spray, diffuser, scented candle, or even a sachet. Choose a scent you like that is mild, nothing too strong or cloying. Citrus, lavender, and vanilla scents are usually well received by most people. Spray the air freshener in the air, on the curtains, and on the upholstery. Just be careful not to overdo it, because too much scent can also be bothersome. And if you prefer homemade solutions, here's a simple recipe. Boil water with citrus peels, cinnamon sticks, or cloves. The steam from this mixture will naturally and pleasantly scent the entire house. Leave the pot on low heat for a few minutes and you're done. The scent spreads quickly and gives that cozy, homey feeling. And there's another trick that works very well. Put a few drops of essential oil on a cotton ball and leave it behind cushions or inside drawers. The scent is subtle and constant without being aggressive. And look, a pleasant aroma isn't just for impressing visitors. It also influences your own mood and well-being. When you enter a room and smell something nice, you automatically feel better. The environment becomes more cozy and inviting. So don't forget to include this step in your quick cleaning routine. It's simple, fast, and the impact is huge. Tip 7. Adjust the lighting and open the curtains. And we've arrived at the last trick, which is super simple but makes a huge difference. Adjust the room's lighting and open the curtains. Well-lit rooms automatically seem cleaner and more organized. So if it's daytime, open the curtains wide and let the natural light in. Sunlight is the best illuminator there is. It enhances colors, brings life to the room, and even has properties that help eliminate some types of bacteria. So make the most of natural light. If you have heavy or dark curtains, consider switching to lighter models that let light through. Dark rooms always seem dirtier and more cramped, even if they are spotless. Bright and well-lit rooms convey a sense of spaciousness and cleanliness. Now, if it's nighttime, or if your room doesn't receive much natural light, adjust the lamps. Turn on all available lights and see if any bulbs are burned out and need replacing. A poorly lit room will never have that clean look, no matter how well it's cleaned. So invest in good lighting. If necessary, add extra lamps in the darkest corners. And there's an important detail about curtains. They accumulate a lot of dust. So at least once a week, give them a shake or lightly wipe them with a cloth. This prevents the accumulated dust from being spread throughout the room every time you open or close them. And if your curtains are very dirty or stained, set aside a day to wash them. Clean curtains make all the difference in the overall look of the room. Furthermore, when light enters through clean curtains, the room becomes even more beautiful and cozy. And look, this lighting trick works not only for the living room but for the whole house. Well-lit environments are more pleasant, safer, and always seem cleaner. So don't underestimate the power of light. Open the curtains, adjust the lamps, and watch the magic happen. Before we continue, let me tell you something quick. If you want to have a clean, organized, and fragrant home without wasting hours of your day or spending money on expensive products, I've prepared a complete guide with easy homemade recipes, a weekly checklist, and professional tricks that really work. The link is in the first pinned comment. Now let's continue with the video. Okay, now you know 7 tricks to make your living room look impeccable in just 10 minutes. And look, there's no secret. The important thing is to follow this sequence. First, pick up scattered objects, then tidy the sofa, clean visible surfaces, organize remotes and cables, quickly mop the floor, add a pleasant aroma, and adjust the lighting. If you do this in the right order and with focus, you'll achieve incredible results in a short time. And the best part is that these tricks don't require expensive products or special equipment. It's all very simple and accessible. Anyone can do it regardless of age or physical condition. You just need a little willingness and to follow the step-by-step instructions. And there's more. When you get into the habit of doing this quick cleaning every day, or at least a few times a week, your living room will always be impeccable. You won't need to dedicate hours of your weekend to heavy cleaning anymore. You'll just be maintaining what's already organized. And that completely changes your routine and your quality of life. So I challenge you, take these 7 tricks and put them into practice today. Set aside 10 minutes of your day, go to the living room and follow each of these steps. I'm sure you'll be surprised by the result. And then come back here in the comments to tell me how it went. I love knowing that these tips are helping you have a more organized and welcoming home. Before I finish, I want to remind you of something important. If you want to have a clean, organized, and fragrant home without wasting hours of your day or spending money on expensive products, I've prepared a complete guide with simple homemade recipes, a weekly checklist, and professional tricks that really work. The link is in the first pinned comment. It's worth checking out to transform your routine in a practical and economical way. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new tips. Every week, I bring practical content like this to make your life easier. And tell me in the comments, which of these tricks did you already know, and which was the biggest discovery for you? I want to know your opinion. Hugs, and see you in the next video.